How's it going, guys? Today I have another brand new release from GVM. This particular model here is pretty easy to remember. This is the GVM RGB20W, which stands for a 20 watt light, and of course it's got RGB on it. This particular one that I'm reviewing is a some sort of a kit. This is the GVM RGB20W1L, which comes with the light itself. No battery included. It comes with the power supply and also this type of stand here that you can actually hook up on the table or any surface up to 3.5 to 4 inches thick. On the back here you can actually even make this wider, so you just unscrew this and then you can actually fit on the table about this thick here. As a matter of fact, speaking of the power supply, I just reviewed this light here not even a week ago, and the funny thing is this light does include the battery but does not include the power supply. So the problem is, if we want to power this with the power supply, you have to hunt for the correct power adapter. So guess what, if you actually happen to want to buy this light and this one here, and this requires a 9-volt 3-amp power supply, which is kind of hard to find because most power supplies that look like this, they're 12 volts. But guess what, exactly what it says here, 9 volts 3 amps. So this power supply will work with this light and this light over here, so pretty cool. And I thought this jack here was a little thicker, about 2.5 millimeter instead of the 2.1 millimeter. The thing happens to fit perfectly, as you can see here. So over here is the front of the panel, which is about 4-ish by 9.5 inches, and the back here is the usual display and also the one slot to fit one single battery. And it also comes included with the this little bracket here, which features a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom, and you can also mount this on top of your camera, which has a cold shoe mount kind of thing here. But you can also mount this light directly to a standard stand. You don't have to use the bracket if you don't want to. And this also rotates about 360 degrees as long as you don't have the battery installed here. So, but this is still okay, because what difference would that make with the light this way or that way, right? So you can actually turn the light this way or vertically. That should be enough. So it's horizontal or vertical. 360, why? But you can, as long as you don't have the battery here. And to remove this is very easy. I actually recommend that you actually remove it from the front of the stand so you don't have any ways to break this thing here. So you just do this, it comes off, and to mount, you just slide it right here. On the right side of the light here, this is where you connect your included power supply, which is the DC 9-volt 3 amps. And right here on top is your cold shoe mount, which you can actually attach a microphone or anything shoe mount related, whatever it is they want to put on top here. And of course, you can also put this straight on your DSLR or whatever camera that has a shoe mount. You just slide this in here, and this light here is already light, but especially when you remove the battery, this thing is like a featherweight. It weighs nothing, especially if you just use the power supply. And there's one thing here that GVM and Godox is making that I'm really pleased with it, because in filmmaking, as you can see here, this is at 1%, because a lot of lights in the past, the 1% look like this. Or they usually start at 10%, so I really like the fact that the 1% looks like this here. So 2%, 3, 4, 5. So if you need something this dim, this light will give it to you. So you can also change the color temperature, of course, or the RGB. They're all going to provide this low intensity here. And of course, all the way to 100%. I kind of missed when these GVM lights, they were in 5% increments instead of 1%, because I have to turn this like 50 times until I go down to the 1%. But you guys complain and GVM listened. So they are now making the 1% increment, but you have to keep down this thing forever. So I actually missed the 5%, so I can go 5, 10, 15, 20. In my opinion here, what would be cool to do is to have the 1% increments from 10% and down, so you can actually go up and down 1% increments. As soon as this light passes 10%, it goes back to 5% increments, because I don't think there's a need to fine-tune if you are like at 65 or 69%. I don't think that makes any difference whatsoever. So when you are critical, like, you know, the lower percentage here, that's when you do the 1%. But anyway, so it's fine. It's just my opinion. Now, besides using this light for just like, you know, Skype calls or Zoom meetings, you can definitely use this light for filmmaking by hiding this light behind things. You can also use as a background light. You just shine the light on the background like I'm doing with this light over here. You just put this light facing over there. You can also use this as a hair light. You can also use the effects, you know, to simulate candlelight, somebody watching TV when the TV is not there, the police lights over there, simulating cops outside. All those things are very useful with this light. But keep in mind, for key light, this is the last light that I'll actually utilize for key light, because the size of the light is rather tiny. So if you don't have any other lights, I would seriously recommend you to save some money and buy a light that's capable of mounting a softbox as large as you can to give you the a proper key light kind of look instead of using this light. But if this is the only light that you have, you can actually use a diffuser. I usually recommend a large diffuser disc, which you can actually put the light behind, but you have to keep it up at 100% because you're going to be cutting off a lot of light to pass through that disc, and this way you can actually have a decent key light. But the way it is right here, this doesn't work as a key light like this. So there are three ways to buy this light. If you just want a light and nothing else, no stands or power supplies or anything like that, I'm actually at the B&H side here. So the GVM RGB20W, which will be just the light itself, it comes with the light and the cold shoe bracket, which is this thing here, no stands. So if you want this exact kit that I'm reviewing here, it comes included with the light itself, and also the power supply adapter and the desktop light stand, and of course your 1-year warranty. And the third option will be a kit with two lights, which includes a regular kind of stand. It doesn't include this type of stand here, but it does come included with the AC adapter and also the brackets like this here. Now to power this light, you just press the power button a few seconds. And then the controls here, this is something that's going to require a little bit of getting used to, but it won't take long until you get the feeling of the thing. So you have this little back button here and this wheel here that you can actually turn left and right. So here we are, the main menu, the CCT mode, presses once and then once again to adjust the brightness, which goes from 0% in 1% increments all the way to 100%. And then you press the back button here, turn this knob to the right. Then you have your CCT from 2700 degrees Kelvin all the way up to 10,000 degrees Kelvin. Then to go back to the main menu, press this back button twice. If you don't make any changes here, you can actually navigate from the CCT, HSI, and scene. So to access your RGB, you just press this button here once. And if you don't want to make any changes, you can still navigate from one of these three here, the brightness, the hue, and saturation. So if you do want to make the change, make sure you always press this button once, and then you can do the brightness here. Press the back button, and then turn this to the right. You access your hue, which goes from the reds all the way back to red again. And then press this button again. Same deal, saturation now from 100% all the way to 0%. Now press the back button twice to access the main menu again, and then you turn the knob to the right. That's when your scene is. And then to actually activate the scene, you press this button here, the large knob, once. And I'm gonna be showing you guys in real time each one of these effects. And this allows you to adjust the brightness on this particular effect here. To change to the next effect, press the back button here, turn this knob. Here's your cop car. You can also adjust the brightness. Press the back button again, and then that's the candle light. And it looks like this. I'll let it play for a while here. And then back button again. Next effect will be the TV, which you also can adjust the brightness. And next will be the bed bulb. This one you can actually adjust the brightness and also the color temperature. 10,000 Kelvin. Notice that you can only apply the color that you want when you press this button again. Now it's going to switch back to 2700 Kelvin, and then press the button again. It's going to switch to this color temperature here. Then the next one we have the party, which lets you set up the brightness and also the timing here. So right now we are at 100 milliseconds, and to go down here, press this button once, slide this to the right, and then you click. So at 100 milliseconds it's going to be flashing real quick, and all the way to 5 seconds. So this particular effect here is going to be a solid color. It's going to change the color every 5 seconds, as you can see. And then another 5 seconds, it's going to change to the next color. And the disco is a little bit different. Press it twice. Next one is the disco. So this particular disco at 100 milliseconds, it looks almost similar to the party mode. But you notice that when you do like a 5 second here, for example, the only difference now is going to be flashing the same color instead of a solid color every 5 seconds. That's the difference between the disco and the party at a longer interval here. Press this twice. The last effect will be the paparazzi, which you can also control the brightness. And when I want to go back to the main menu, keep press this thing here until you see the main menu again, but you notice that the effect is still playing. So all you gotta do is press this button once, and then it goes back to the CCT or the HSI, whatever you want to do. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to use this app here. So before, GVM was relying on Wi-Fi only, which is not my favorite thing. Now they're incorporating Bluetooth, which is a lot better. So power on the light here. And then, as you can see on my phone, here you have the GVM on the bottom here, which is the old app, which is for Wi-Fi lights only. You want to be downloading now the GVM LED, the version 2. So call the app, and it says unconnected here. And then you press the Bluetooth on the top right here. Now the BT LED, this is the ID for this light here. And then you hit connect. It connects very easily. Now keep in mind that the application is not going to be working at all. You're wondering why. For some reason you have to press this button here regardless what setting you are. Just press the button here once, and then from now you can actually control the light from the application. You can go from the 0% to 100%, and your color temperature right here. You can actually turn off the light, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on. The channels here, they don't really matter. If you are only controlling one light, it's going to kick back to channel 1. To access the RGB, you just hit the HSI, which is the next button, and then you have your whole color spectrums over here, and the brightness from 0 to 100%, and also the saturation on the bottom. Next one will be the scene. You can hit the lighting, or cop car, TV, party, paparazzi. So some effects here you can actually control the brightness only, but other effects you can actually control more. Instead of the brightness only, this particular one here, the party, you can actually control the cycle, the disco, and also the bad bulb, I believe. There you go. Everything else you can actually control just the brightness itself. And then my scenes, if you happen to be liking the disco, for example, at 5-second delay, all you have to do is click on my scenes here, and to save it, all you gotta do is press this little diskette, little icon here, and then you can actually save the current scene. And also the Bluetooth here on the top right, you can actually disconnect or keep the light connected. And on the top left, you have your settings, which you can actually engage the vibration on and off. On the iPhone 7 Plus, it doesn't have any effect, just so to let you know. You can actually have the sound on or off. And the sound here they produces is the same sound that when you send a text message on the iPhone. It's like that whoop, whoop. So it's kind of annoying, so I actually have it set to off. Check for updates is the latest version. And about us, if you have a problem, you contact the GVM people by this emails here. If you bought a B&H, this is the B&H email. If you bought from Amazon, that's the email at the bottom. And also exit system, Bluetooth disconnected. Then from here, you can still control the light here. You want to call the app again. Oh, wrong app, sorry. So you can still call the app here and skip this thing here. And then again, BT LED, connect. And there you go. I think you only have to press the button that I mentioned before once, because I just recall the app and I'll no longer need to press this button here, just one time. And then here's your RGB. I'm gonna quit the app again. I'm gonna be calling this app again here to make sure it is always connecting consistently. Gotta wait until this message goes away, and then there you go. You can control everything. I'm gonna quit the app one more time. Connect. Gotta wait until this thing goes out. There you go. Perfect. Very reliable every single time. Now, one huge advantage with the Bluetooth is that you can still check your emails. You can have internet on the phone while still controlling this light with the Bluetooth. With the Wi-Fi, your whole phone internet communication is blocked. This is why this is a huge deal to have a light that's Bluetooth operated instead of the Wi-Fi, because on Wi-Fi, you're always stuck with the, you don't have a phone as long as you are on this thing's Wi-Fi. And that's the end of my review. If you like what I saw, please consider subscribing to this channel. All I do here primarily is lighting, and if you care to leave a comment, I respond to everything that I see. And if you even care to be twice as cool and give me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. You know, it tells me that I'm doing a good job here. So thank you again very much for your time watching this video, and see you next time.